So the whole idea of having exil started off because of these guidelines. Me, Yusuf, Antoine, and Omar were in Alba, and Joe studied finance. So we all did product design, and then we graduated and realized that after working with designers, that all of the Lebanese designers always did bespoke furniture products that is more collectible design and not really accessible to everyone. And they weren't selling anymore, especially because of the crisis, the situation of the country. It was too expensive to produce, and then 1% of the people could afford these products. So we realized that we wanted to do something that was more accessible and to everyone, especially our generation, people that are moving out, traveling, things like that. So this is why we put down this list of criteria. So the list is that the production cost can't go up over $80, and it depends on what the product is as well. And it has to be flat packed and not heavy for shipping purposes, so that the shipping doesn't cost 5 times the price of the product, because this is one of the main issues in designing furniture and things like that. And so this is how we came up with the list, and we showed it to all of these designers that you saw on our website, and they loved the idea, because usually they don't really think this way. They just they draw something and they go and check how much it's going to cost. So it's a reversed exercise of them having to think of all of these things before going into production. Rania Ambilama, who's one of the co-founders as well, she had over-the-counter, and she once did an exhibition with more established designers like Nada Debes, Architecture Mechanism, Democratize, Mahdi, and they created objects that cost less than $100, the selling price. So we kind of talked to them and asked them to either reproduce the products they had for over the counter or create new ones, and they did. So this is Nada Debes' desk tray, this is Architecture Mechanism, this is Democratize tray. So yeah, and the rest are the young designers. This is Alex Basil. She didn't even graduate from university yet, but it's one of our most sold products. It's a tissue box made of linen. This is Paula Saer, incense holder. We have it in wood and in metal, and it's really aesthetically very pleasing. It's inspired by an Nifa. This is Rania Ambilama herself, who did it for her exhibition. Shaha Rafael, who was also a student, she just graduated, she's an architect, and she was inspired by Noguchi's playground to do this vide poche. This is Maria Group. They did this really cool bowl as well. We have like 5 different colors. This is Rat Cat. They do all of these coasters and even the carpet at home. They have the gun, and it's really cool because they're 2 girls. One of them is a graphic designer, and the other one is a fashion designer who knows a lot about textiles. So they created really cool products. This is very fun. This is a recycled marble from Yahabulos. She used all of the marbles that they don't choose in companies, big projects, and she repurposed them, and she did ashtrays and candle holders.
One of the main challenges that we had was more, let's say, about how and which material that they want to use. So there was some project that were able to be completed because some of the, we had to educate some of the, especially the younger designers, of what kind of materials are available, of techniques that are available here for them to readapt their designs and to be able to produce something. And so there was a lot of, let's say, teaching back and forth processes. And something that we also did is that we kind of created a mentor-mentee relationships, especially with the younger designers, with the more established ones that we have in our in our circle, and this also helped a lot. And there was, for once, a discussion that was happening and a teaching, if you want, between designers, between them all, and they were kind of helping. And you could see, for example, from a product that wasn't really feasible at some time, we either Antoine, which is the head of production, or another established designer would give some advices, and then you could see like the product evolve into a point where we were able to do it. Yeah.
It's harder when you have no guidelines to follow when you're designing, because you have everything is open to you. But so the more you give criteria to the designers, the more they come up with solutions. Actually, it's also an exercise for the designers to think about the material. So if you have an idea and you want to do it in brass, people don't actually think that it weighs a lot, it costs a lot, and things like that. So they just go for it and then end up paying $500 to produce it, and then having to sell it triple the price. So to think of the other materials that you can replace brass with, and then the techniques to how to do it and produce it. This is a very interesting exercise for all of these designers, and people are really creating things that are more feasible. In Lebanon, for example, we don't have all the techniques, all the machines here, so they try to fit into these guidelines as well.
We started during COVID, and even then the first thing we did is we did an open call where we invited as much as possible, like as many designers as possible on this open call, and we described Exil. Tatiana and the rest of the team also like described the whole like specification sheet, and like we all started like digitally or in a space. I was based in Switzerland, she was based in Paris, the rest of the team was in Beirut, and we started the project like this. And obviously everything that happened like really impacted us in a way. Like you can't run a business here the way you could run it in another country. And from registration process to the simple things as invoicing with artisans, which almost doesn't exist because everything is done in a very unformatted, unofficial way. You know, like Antoine can tell you more about it. Like he goes to an artist and asks him for an invoice, the guy laughs and he's like, "Why do you need one?" And then we need to report some stuff. So yeah, it all makes it a chaotic environment. But so now, out of this, you have a lot of creativity. You have a lot of things that happen. One of the nicest things is in this project gathered for once all the designers together in a safe space, in the same goal of we can do something if we create an ecosystem together, and that really flourished out of the situation that we were in. And it was, I think, a very competitive environment before, and we're trying as much as possible to create like a collaborative approach where, yes, you need to share resources for us to make it, like from your artisans, you need to share the information. We want everyone to work in this space, and this is like this, if you want, the silver lining out of all of this chaos.